Song of the Siren disjointed the fight and came back in favor of Fnatic.
And it all comes down to this. Game 5 of our best of 5 bubble race finals. LV Gaming taking on LGD Gaming. Cannot think of a more fitting way for the Eastern Division play to end here this year, and in this season, I should say, for D2L Season 5. One of these two teams heading to Vegas. The other, well, they're going to be finishing in the money, but not in the money they want. LV leading off with the Ember, the IO, Jakiro, and Juggernaut. And it's going to be LGD grabbing that Skywrath, the Doom, the Ogre, and the Batrider. Trouf, my friend, what a ride it's been all throughout the Eastern Division. We've gotten to know a lot of these players, gotten to see teams that, you know, we didn't know a lot about, but we've gotten to know them up close and personal. I cannot think of two better teams that represent this division, but only one gets the trip to Vegas. The other going to have to go home.
It has been a lot of fun. And the Eastern scene, I've learned a lot from them. One thing I've learned is LV Gaming has some great players on their squad, and they have just a bag of tricks. Because I remember, like, they just have certain lineups that they like to do, and I see them pop up every once in a while, like Juggernaut. I feel like I remember Lynn or Whisper playing this and just dominating it. I think he was solo offlane on the Juggernaut. I don't know if you remember this game, but he was doing great things with it. Had an aggressive build, went for very early fighting items, things like, you know, Phase Aquila and drums, and I can't remember the exact specific build, but I remember working out very nicely for them. They also like, on the other side, the Wisp and the Ember Spirit. And they pick up the Ember Spirit first, and I think it's a good decision. I think LGD Gaming has gotten way too comfortable with Yao on this, and it's been doing good things for them. But they have three very good counters, I should say, to the Ember Spirit, being the Skywrath, the Doom, and the Batrider for LGD.
Yeah, I'm like you. I'm trying to flash back and remember. I remember the Juggernaut. I want to say he went Phase. He went Phase, Aquila. Scepter was not far down the line. I want to say he either went
Yasha.
Phase, Drums, Aquila. Was it Yasha? Yo, that's what it was. Yeah, it was Yasha. I remember now. Yeah, and they made it work. I want to see what they're going to do with this IO. The IO Ember Spirit actually does work pretty damn well. We've seen that happen an impact a number of times. And now just coming down to what their farming core is going to be, and that is, of course, on the assumption that the Juggernaut will not be the farming core himself. And Weaver is going to be the pickup from LGD. And yeah, Weaver, I kind of dig it. Weaver, there's not a whole lot of ways to hardcore lock him down. They're going to go ahead and add the Wraith King, and that was a very quick pick. They knew exactly what they wanted. That's going to be a one-position Wraith King with Lynn on the Juggernaut.
Yeah, I actually have the game opened up, and they picked up the Juggernaut, Invoker, Ember Spirit, Wisp, and Rubik. So they had three of those heroes is what stood out to me. I was like, wait, they did this before. So they have the Invoker, or they have the Wraith King, and what is it? The Jakiro now instead, which are, I think, fine substitutes.
Oh, yeah.
But CYF going to be playing, and it's going to be Lynn yet again on the Juggernaut.
Well, getting ready to jump in, and all you can really do is sit back and wait. I mean, we can talk about LGD and what they're going to do here. It is going to be Siler farming the Weaver, no surprise. It's going to be Yao on the Doom. Bat Rider will be out in the off lane, so I guess they're going to be tri-laning the Weaver with the Doom in mid. It's in July on the Bat, so
5 seconds remaining.
I want to see what the farming Doom is able to accomplish here. Doom's going to be kind of a big deal in terms of dealing with LV, especially if they play it out with this Ember Spirit the way that we know they like to. They like to be very aggressive with him, not just sit back and farm all game. And we could see Lin already picks up his Stout Shield, his regen, and he and Demons are booking it down bottom lane.
It's going to be Weaver mid. Maybe anticipating the Wisp dual lane just to have him in mid to make it a little bit of an easier time. And you know what the item was? It was a freaking Blink Dagger. Remember I was like bitching for like 3 minutes of like, oh, this should be so good.
That came out late though. That came out like 10 minutes before the end, I think. Like,
yeah,
they came
but
out
he got like 2 kills immediately after he got it. So it made me happy. That's what it was.
Yep, the ward's going to go down right on the pool camp. And now LV just going to pull back and reset. I think they're going to end up doing just dual lanes here to start at least. DDC going to be supporting ZYF up at top. And assuming that's an off-lane bat,
30 seconds.
They are going to be able to harass him pretty well. I mean, I'm sure once he's stable, he'll put his first point into either Liquid Fire or Dual Breath, and then the next will go into the other. And they should be able to cause him some problems. A couple of wards down right on top of each other, so both sides prioritizing the same piece of vision. But I want to see, again, how the Juggernaut's going to do. This is the kind of thing that tends to either work really well or fall flat on its face. You don't really see stuff like an offlane Juggernaut do okay. Like, usually he's very impactful. They utilize his healing ward very well in either pushes or team fights. He's adequately leveled. He ends up getting a key item or two, and he actually contributes a lot. Or he falls flat, can't get his levels. They pick him off, and he ends up 0-3, 0-4 in the first 15 minutes, and then never really recovers. So LV, I like their lineup, but I do feel like it's a little less all-around easy to execute as LGD. I feel like LGD, especially with Sylar going on the mid-weaver, which is something I don't think we see enough of. I actually think it's very effective in certain matchups. It just, you know, you can always fall back with the bat and get your blink and your items, no problem, right? You can always rely on the Weaver to be able to split push and be able, especially if he gets over-leveled, which he will in a solo mid situation. And you can always rely on the Doom if he wants to go Midas to have a ton of gold. So this is a very forgiving lineup for LGD, whereas LV is really going to have the onus on them to execute and execute well.
Ooh, they actually didn't spot out the invis too. Like, a lot of good contention there from LGD, just asserting their dominance in the bottom rune and just really securing that. And this could potentially be a kill. No, they'd have to wait till level 2 on the Skywrath to get this kill. Unless they, I don't know, if he plays really far up and you just get the silence over the concussive shot onto MMY, there actually is a chance you get this kill. But he would have to play pretty far up and take some harassment before the Ogre even initiates. So, yeah, look at how far back he's playing.
Yep, playing really smart, and Faith even just had to run up and what? Wow. DDC, ZYF, and Demons get the first blood at top. Was watching bottom instead. Lin did get initiated on. So while we were concerned with bottom lane, DDC, Demons, and ZYF get the job done at top. Well done.
Yep, really easy combo there with the... And he actually still didn't have Dual Breath level 1. I think it probably would have been easier with Dual Breath as well. But nonetheless, the extra movement speed you get from the Wisp as well in the beginning is actually pretty big. Just allows you to get some extra auto attacks that you otherwise couldn't get. So ZYF farming the Wraith King. We've seen farming Wraith King even today with Silent from Empire just doing work on
he got the courier. He got the courier with the bottle on it. Oh, and Flame. He let it come way too far forward. It walked right up next to him. I don't know if it was a miss micro or just misjudging, but Sylar with the early second point in the Geminate attack got a double attack proc and it killed the courier with the bottle.
Oh my god, that is so devastating. He has no sustain in lane anymore. He has one more tango that he can eat. He needs someone to come bring him a tango or something.
Absolutely devastating. And it's such an easy mistake to make. He just got the courier a little too far forward. And he just got off, I want to say he got off one. Like, I'm pretty sure he got off 2 auto attacks, and the second one was the Geminate proc.
You know,
and that's what got the kill.
You know what I think it was? It wasn't his bottle. It was the Wisp bottle. So maybe Wisp sent the courier there and was trying to drop it off onto Inflame. But since Inflame, you can't just push the button to give yourself actually hold that thought. Inflame gets hit with a concussive shot.
I think you're right. Because it was Demon's bottle. Checking the inventory of the courier. Yeah, that's actually a really good call. So that's why I had to bring it up far forward, and Weaver just happened to be right in his face when it happened.
Yeah, and maybe because like if whatever you bind the key to retrieve your item, it doesn't do it automatically. And you know how it kind of doesn't really go right to your hero, it goes like a little bit further away. Well, he probably like wasn't, you know, expecting it to be in the position that it was because it wasn't his bottle. So, oh boy, that's pretty huge.
You can see Faith trying to zone out the jug. In the meantime, MMY beginning to get his roam on a little bit. Up atop, in July has found himself level 2. Talking about farm, the Weaver in mid is dominating. He's at 19 CS to the 6 of this Ember Spirit. So he's absolutely getting crushed. And yeah, he has to walk back to base. Like you said, he has no regen. Tremendous amount of waste time. Siler gets all the free farm he wants. His bottle's nice and safe and snug on his hip. And yeah, this is actually looking pretty bad for this mid matchup. And ZYF's farming well, but I mean, if Siler just goes crazy, remember that Universe game we just watched not long ago?
Yeah.
What a Weaver that gets way over leveled can actually do. It gets disgusting very quickly.
Yeah, and this Weaver pickup is nice and all, but the Weaver to go mid is just very genius for them. Like, even if there was a Wisp here, I don't think they can actually pressure the Weaver too much, and this is why they put him in there. But then, yeah, the Courier kill is just a whole... I mean, we talked about that, so... Pretty bad for them. Juggernaut, down bottom, at the very least is getting his levels. Not really any farming. He's only got 1 CS under his belt.
In July, doing quite well, though. Level 3. Has 5 CS even before ducking into the jungle. Not too bad. They give up first blood. It might get caught again, and he will. He's going to have to use Firefly. Dual Breath going to burn him down some, but not going to be able to bring him down entirely. Demons is continuing to bounce around. He's just level 2 right now. Inflame has made it up to level 5. Actually, Siler's not as far ahead of him as I would have thought he would be. He's actually only about half a level ahead.
Yeah, but man, he's up 16 CS, so he's doing very good for himself. The Courier does come back. And actually, he places a sentry here. They just use a Sakuchi. This is actually going to be a kill on Siler. This is a nice rebound here for LV. Nicely played.
They really needed that, and it was brilliantly played. The timing on it, just waiting on him to Sakuchi, and they're like, no, we got him. As soon as it went on cooldown. Well played, and that's going to be 2-0 favoring LV. They got the first blood. They lost their Courier, but that should get things just about back to even. There's the minus on the Doom, and I don't think that's unexpected even a little. In mid, they're going to go right after Inflame, but very quick on his Remnant. Keeps him safe. Yao now farming right in front of Lin. Lin's going to get a fair amount. I mean, he's not just going to get a fair. Look at these creeps. Look at the levels he's going to get here. And even taking some gold with the Blade Fury. Tucked up under his tower. Very safe. He's going to hit like level 5 off of this.
Yep, unfortunately not getting every single CS right here. He's going to get about 3 of them. Oh, taking damage.
Got no Doom on the Doom. He's not quite level 6. Super dead if he was. And okay, turns around and dies. Now they're going to TP and Inflame. This is going to be a favorable trade for LV if they can get him. Yao making a run for it. Using the Scorched up. Super dead. As Inflame and Demons on point. Avenging the death of the Juggernaut. He had just spent his gold on the minus, so not the end of the world, but certainly getting the Doom for Inflame much more important than the Doom getting the Juggernaut.
Could Demons have saved him there? I feel like when he used his bottle, I don't think he used Overcharge, so when he tried to use the bottle, it wasn't actually healing him. It looked like it just didn't heal him at all. I think he messed up there.
They're going to come back down towards bottom. And Inflame with the DD wants to go to work. And there's going to be the Searing Chains, and he's so dead. Cleaning him up. One last Sleight of Fist, all it took. There's a TP coming in, but Siler only going to land to see their backsides. It's 4-1. LV piling it on with the kills. And we could see LGD had built up a very early 2K gold lead and now cut down to about 750. So LV very quick to turn the tables and try to get things back under control. Siler has to run. That DD will be expiring in about a quarter time on Inflame. So Midas is also up on the Wraith King now for LV.
Yeah, and normally this is a hero you like to get aggressive with, but if there's anything I've learned in casting D2L with the Wraith King is that this hero can totally take over a game in the late stages. So Midas more than appropriate this game, especially on a player like ZYF who really maximizes his farm better than most. Action in mid, so MMY gets taken out, and I am very impressed with the way that LV's been able to bounce back, even just mentally after that kind of start.
Yeah. I mean, it has to crippling. And to be honest, they're just outmaneuvering LGD right now. LGD feels sluggish. And Lin could end up dead, or will Siler? Siler has the time lapse. He's going to chase down Lin now. Should be easy peasy and will be. Saved his time lapse as long as he could, and now we'll be able to make it back. 2-5. LV maintains their lead, but yeah, it's basically just breaking even in terms of gold right now. They are leading in experience, however. And we'll see if Inflame, now that he has his phase up, if he's actually going to go with that Yasha we've become so accustomed to seeing. I think Yao in this game in particular, just because of the presence of the Ember Spirit, really needs to go Blink sooner rather than later, though. Looking at his teammates, he's probably the most natural mech carrier, so going something like Mech Blink would be really solid for him.
Yeah, I don't like Mech. I just think Blink is so much better, especially against an Ember, and even against the Jug, although, you know what? I forgot about this too, but Jug is a little bit better now against Doom, because you have to get Nags to stop him from Blade Furying. So even, like before, it would just stop it, but now you can still just get the Blade Fury and do some damage with that, which could come into play here in this game. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, so nice little buff there in the sense for Juggernaut.
Speaking of the Jug, he, Demons, and Inflame are along the ridge, overlooking this Tier 1 Radiant.
Dire's bottom tower
Here in mid, and it looks like they're trying to catch them just pulling back or something along those lines. They're actually trying to catch them mid-rotation. I just noticed they're pushing top with 2 heroes. Inflame going to use an Invis and spotting them out. Let's see, do they really want to dive here? Yeah, they do. Angelize the target. Can they get him? There's the Remnants, and they grab him down. Inflame finishes him off with a sleight of fist. Demons is going to end up giving his body to MMY. Not optimal, but you can deal with that. Just heard a Doom that's actually going to be on the Inflame, and now LGD looking for payback. They're going to get it. Nothing he could do. So they end up trading the Ember for the Bat. Not a good trade at all for LV this time. And I don't know why they rushed that. I feel like they actually had a really good plan. They were standing right here and just waiting on them to head this way in response to the top tier 1 being pushed. And they got impatient, dove onto this side of the jungle, and ended up paying for it.
Yeah, and that's one of those instances where I think his triple Remnant was not necessary.
Yeah.
Maybe just go double Remnant and save your last one to get away. But at the very least, the Wisp actually did get away. Very, very close to dying, but he TP'd out and lived with this by the skin of his teeth with like about 50 HP right in front of the face of the Skywrath. So nicely done for Demons there. And he's actually almost got relocated as well.
You think this is going to be an active relocation game? I mean, it's always used if you have an IO, if it's available. Some teams just prioritize using it to gank more than others. You think this is that kind of game? Yeah,
because the Ember Spirits can be so aggressive.
Yeah.
And, I mean, actually all their heroes are very mid-game centric.
Mm-hmm. Now the Wraith King makes a great partner as well. And could save him having to buy a Blink Dagger if he doesn't want to snag one early.
He should still get one, though.
Oh, I agree. Now there's the Blink on the Bat, up at about 10.5 minutes. Not too shabby. Got a Bottle and Brown Boots. I think that's going to be the name of a bar if I ever open one. Bottle and Brown Boots.
I like that. A little bit of alliteration there.
Mm-hmm. BBB. 3Bs? I don't know. Whatever. I'm so tired.
I know. I actually... It hit me last game towards the middle of it. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. We've been going a while. 9 a.m. yesterday. Like, literally, that's... I'm going to stop mumbling. It's fun, though. I have enjoyed the hell out of this series.
LV's been my favorite team to watch, for, like, hands down. I have to say that straight up. I'm actually an LV fanboy now.
Yep, I think I am, too. Inflame, definitely a fan. Sylar, trying to harass a bit. Both teams taking it very easy. We're seeing some smokes here and there, but not a whole lot's coming of them, as LGD actually had a smoke on Yao and MMY, and I'm not sure if they just went hunting and didn't find anything or what, but saw it wear off. The Jug is going just up to, looks like a wand and a bracer. Easy stuff. There's the Arc Boots on the IO. IO is level 6, approaching level 7. Mech is going to be the call on the Doom, and I dig this. I mean, if you're going to be trying to fight early, which they kind of have to. I mean, Weaver's fine late to an extent, but as soon as Hexes start to come out on supports, he's nowhere near as strong. And the Jakiro is actually quite good against him because of the Yules into Ice Path and Macro Pyre with the follow-ups. So, and you're right. It's actually going to be the Blink first on ZYF. Thought maybe he would forego it for a little while and just get it as a second or third item, but not the case. Sylar right in his face, and he's got a whole team coming behind him. Looks like they want to dive.
Yep, although Doom isn't there, as he's farming mid with his mech. Which again, this is very curious, that the fact that you buy this mech and then you're trying to pressure. Maybe they're just really, really confident they can take a fight without him, but no, they're actually, they chose not to. Siler goes bottom, Lin TP's out with the spin, just to assure no other stuns are coming his way. And they're pinging out mid now. Demons has to relocate if he needs it.
Inflame in, and he was winding up for the Doom, and yeah, Inflame just flat fed. Just walked right up into a situation where you have to figure he would not be there if they didn't want to fight. In July, taking a lot of damage. Will make it to the high ground though. LV has ZYF still up, but he is low. He does have his ulti as well. There's going to be a 2x multicast on the DDC. Demons is there. Use the relocate, but it just doesn't matter. As they are being chased down, Siler has time lapse if he needs it. They're going to get him first. That's what they need out of it. It's a 1-for-1, Emperor for Weaver. That's an even trade by far. Ice Path actually going to get Yao. Big win if they get Yao. Wraithfire Blast behind him. Macro Pyre just to make sure it happens. And down he goes. LV's on the charge. They're going to dive this, and yes, there's the blink. Showed off by ZYF. Faith in trouble. Down he goes. They end up trading another, though, as they lose one more. In July, trying to make a run. In Flames back up, trying to re-engage. There's a Wraithfire Blast on the MMY. But the Weaver actually bought back, so now he's got to feel pressure to get something done here. And he's got to be careful. They killed him relatively easily last time. They do not have another sentry, though. There's a regen bottled up by Demons. And, yeah, I was going to say Demons should be able to tether and get away easily. So that's a wasted buyback for Siler. And as the dust settles, yep, we can see that is a huge tank down from the 1,500 gold lead they had generated those so far, all the way down in favor of LV.
Yeah, he had to have bought back with like 10 seconds on his timer, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he knew that they were diving the tier 2s and thought maybe he could do something with it, but unfortunate misjudgment call there by Sylar. And that's a big deal. He was doing so very well, and you're right, man. They bursted him down very, very hard. It was actually super close. He was so close to getting that time walk off. Or time... I say time walk. Oh,
that's
God.
Fine. It is
lapse.
2 in the morning. You realize, like, it's 2 a.m. right now. We started at 9 a.m. yesterday, man.
Yeah.
We're getting to the point it's almost been 24 hours. Like, that's a real thing that's happened. And I'm okay with that, because I'm sure some of our viewers, the 3s and 3s of you that have been aboard all day.
Yep.
Much love. I know there's a few. I actually got tweeted the one time I mentioned that before. There were a few that said they've been watching literally all day. And we love you guys. All right, LGD trying to get into position here. They want ZYF. He does have his ulti. They're going to find... Wow, I don't think the lasso and the... I don't know. I guess it's a kill's a kill. It just seems like a little bit of overkill for a level 7 I or whatever it is, level 8.
Yeah, they didn't want to go on the ZYF because they felt, 1, the relocate could come out, and 2, he has to reincarnate with buy time for his team. So, smart decision there by the Batrider. And because the respawn timer is relatively low from Wisp, they still have a chance to defend this. And let's check if they have Glyph. They do not.
Siler still farming away. He's out doing his own thing at the moment. In mid, DDC getting some much-needed levels. He's working on his Yules. Needs only about another 400 gold to have it.
You know, in the games where DDC has done well, like meaning the first 2.
Caught at bottom. And y'all should be dead here. Will be dead. I don't think they have the damage. They don't. And here comes Siler back in. They spent a lot to try to get that. And yeah, Inflame's going to try to chase them down to make sure they get something. And then Y caught behind. ZYF's there to follow it up. They drop the sentry just in case. And in July looking for something. As LV is running them out into the open. Siler has to run. He's got a DD bottle if he did want to engage. They're just dropping sentries willy-nilly. And they are going to catch him. Do they have the damage? They do. Jakiro is turning out to be a phenomenal pick. Along with, I mean, it's just a perfect chain, and it's not hard to execute. Wraithfire Blast, Searing Chains, Ice Path. They have the damage after that to finish him off easily at this stage.
Well, he's also hitting free open Ice Paths, even without setups. Like that one in mid that we saw, all DDC. Like, there's no help with that one. In fact, I don't think they even get that kill in mid because if they didn't get that free open Ice Path.
LGD trying to put the push on mid. Here comes another reaction in Flame at about half mana. Yep, there's going to be a Wraithfire Blast that's blinked and it's disjointed by In July. Down at bottom, LV does manage to finish off that tier 1. So they manage to keep the tier 1 in mid standing while killing off the tier 1 at bottom. And the trades keep going their way. Down to the biggest lead of the game now. Still not insurmountable by any stretch, but 2K and 4K on gold and experience respectively. LGD with a fake back. They've smoked and they want to get a kill. It's going to be Demons. And, you know, again, a kill's a kill, but they need to be getting other targets, especially if they're going to be reinitiated on. In July, in some trouble, being chopped away by ZYF. He's going to end up down. And now we see Lin just go in the town using the Blade Fury. That's going to be enough to get him away. ZYF still has his ulti. Sylar did deploy the DD that time. And there's going to be the ulti off the Wraith King. Sylar, in the meantime, is doing immense amounts of damage. And the Doom did get off his ulti onto Inflame. Will not chase him that far, but the damage from the Doom might be enough to tick him down. No, it actually wears off just a little bit early.
Is under attack.
It's a 2-for-1. They got the bat and lost 2, as well as the ulti on ZYF. And there's another beautiful ice path. And here comes the relocate. Inflame back in. This could be huge. There's going to be the big Mystic Flare on the MMY, trying to just zone Inflame off of him. And now following it up, they will. Oh, he just barely makes it to the high ground, but Inflame pursues him. Now, In July's back on his tail. It's going to be the Searing Chains that slow him down. Yao trying to chase him down along the ridgeline. So they end up losing 2-for-1 once again. And Inflame in trouble as he makes it 3. LV maintains the kill lead at 13-11. But LGD putting a dent into things and cutting that lead back down. They should also get this tier 1 relatively easily.
Oh, a huge exchange there for LGD. The Wraith King died too. That was really bad. And, excuse me, he has actually got... He's going for a Desolator, actually, instead of the Maelstrom. Actually, hold that thought. Sylar taking damage. Still has
They're dropping so many sentries, man.
Yeah, they are.
Sylar gets an invis, a little redundant, but nice.
Yeah.
So these two teams slugging it out, haymaker for haymaker.
Yeah, it's interesting that he's going for the Deso, just really wants the extra burst damage. And I think that's fine. Like, if he gets a huge crit on the Sylar and he can't time walk, then it's... Or I keep calling it time walk. I mean, like in my Magic the Gathering mode or something. The nerd I am. But yeah, if he gets a nice crit from onto the Weaver, it's pretty much game over with these constant perfect ice paths from DDC. He has still not died yet, so keeping his somewhat game 1 and 2 records alive with the Yules up onto him relatively early pace too.
And LGD trying to find a way to reset. Like you said, the Wraith King is in great shape. That Midas came out early enough that it's going to pay for itself sooner rather than later. Deso is on the way. And I think that kind of fits in with the motif of what we were talking about. The idea that they have answers to the Weaver. They just, like, they have ways to lock him down regardless. Like, especially with the Jakiro finishing his Jules and so on. Even if he gets a Lincolns, you can pop his Lincolns with a number of things on LV. Excuse me. Actually, just with the Wraith Fire Blast, whatever that works. Just they need the damage and the ability to burst him down when they do manage to keep him locked down for that set amount of time. And once the Lincolns come out, it'll be a little bit more difficult, but the Deso is going to help a ton with that. And Inflame going to find himself a haste rune. Not a bad rune for an Ember Spirit. He's going to go top. And, yep, Sylar just going to slither away. In the meantime, the rest of his team's going into Roshan.
Yeah, the good thing for LV, though, is that even though Sylar's going for this Lincolns, it doesn't really stop their initiation all that much. The Juggernaut ult still will go through it. The Searing Chains goes through it. All of the damage from the Ice Path. Oh, hold that thought in place so fast.
That's a whole team. Beautiful Ice Path to follow it. ZYF right up front does have his ulti. Face going to end up dropping, and the Mystic Flare's on point. ZYF down, but soon to be in July as well. And Sylar, can they catch him? Ice Path on the money. There's a buyback from the Doom, but it's too little and too late. He can't even find his way back into the fight. And hell, that's going to be a full 5-man wipe. Inflame caps it with a double kill. The Doom standing only because he paid for the privilege to be standing. And the Roshan going to be their prize as well. LV blows this game back open, and just look at this, man. It's an EKG.
God, and Wraith King gets that too. The kill onto him too really screws him up. Like, it slows everybody so much, and they can't go anywhere. And the damage from Juggernaut this is all happening with just Phase Boots, Point Booster, Ring of Aquila. He doesn't really have any damage items, but his Omni Slash still does so much. And as I mentioned, if you lock down the Weaver, which you have plenty of ways to do so, even after he gets the Lincolns, he doesn't even have that yet, you're still gonna kill him because of the Ice Path, the ultimate from the Omni Slash. There's just so many ways to actually deal with it.
Tier 1 down.
Radiant's
And they
middle
may
tower
continue to
has
push
fallen.
like we saw LGD do in game 1. Nope, they're going to reset. Going to play a little bit more cautiously. I don't think they have to. With the Aegis up, I think they can just fight a lot.
Yeah, and he's probably going to get an Aghanims up for the Juggernaut pretty soon too. So constant ultis with tons and tons of jumps. And yeah, Ember Spirit, what's his item progression? Does he have a Battle Fury? He's relatively close actually.
Yeah.
So Inflame, yeah, he's going to have that in about 400 gold, maybe less.
Let's see if LV wants to continue to keep the pressure up. Looks like LGD just interested in making trades. They may end up trading a tier 2 for a tier 1. One TP coming in, that's going to be Lin. And this is not a fight you're going to win,
Dire's
Lin.
top tower is under attack.
Yeah, they need to just sack this, as this is for sure a free tower. And I'm actually surprised they split up here. Again, I understand they want their farm. Scepter's almost done for Lin. It's very, very close. Like 300 gold close. And that's huge for him. But the push is on from LGD. They want to force another fight, at least it seems that way.
Doom going for a little bit of a different build as well. Like, obviously the Midas is good. Went for the mech to help out in team fights. I still think Blink is
Dire's
better,
top tower is under
but it's still
attack.
decent to have that. And now he's going for the BKB, which is all fine and dandy. But again, I think Blink is just the core build for Doom. I really do. Just like how Sand King, his core item is a Blink, I really do think that Doom without a Blink is just significantly worse.
Completely agree. Well, and it also changed. There's a B. I like BKB on Doom pretty well, but
Yeah, it is good.
BKB before Blink, no thanks.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, BKB is certainly fine. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Although it's a little bit questionable against the Juggernaut. And even the damage from the Wraith King, actually, with the Deso. Oh, man. He's going to go for AC, I bet.
Oh, 18-11 now. As Trouf and I struggle. Both of us clearing our throats every other sentence. You notice that?
No.
I can't stop it, man. It's scratchy. And this does not happen to me. Like, I never get my voice. It's not even my voice. It's not even my throat. I can't explain it. Like, my voice doesn't hurt. I don't feel like I've strained my voice at all. I think it's just dry is the reality. I'm just dry mouthed and dry throated. But we have a hell of a game of Dota right in front of us. And LV really making progress on ZYF. He's picked up his Hyperstone, so hitting hard, hitting fast. Lin did finish his Scepter, DDC. Like, DDC is really the key here in terms of dealing with the Weaver. If they can use the Weaver, they're going to kill him every time, I think. They have enough to chain it, enough to pop his Lincolns. And, yeah, there's the Lincolns now. So, I mean, it does get a little more complex. But they need to just push here. Like, there's no way LGD can afford to take this trade. They can glyph this. They should have glyphed that because that was a tier 1.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
But ZYF just going to go right in. There's the follow-up in July. Down, Yao has the mech, and he's going to be hit with the Omni Slash. He does BKB. Can't pursue him any deeper. And LV now going to reset. And there's going to be Searing Chains, caught Faith.
Tower is under attack.
Demons sitting way up on the high ground. And just heard a multicast. And looks like LV not wanting to chance things too much. He sent in Flame elsewhere. Did he drop a Remnant? Yeah, he's got one.
Yeah, I don't think they actually fight this, though. Like, they already initiated. Batrider still has Lasso. Although the Doom did BKB, which is kind of a big deal. You know, I was so tired that I wasn't even thinking about it, as I usually go off on my anti-Lincoln Sphere rants. But I don't think this is a Lincoln Sphere game. I really don't. There's so many ways to go around it. Like Omni Slash, the rest of his bounces still hit it. The Jakiro doesn't give two craps about your Lincoln Sphere. I mean, obviously it's annoying with the Yules, but the Ice Path is so effective. The Searing Chains. There's just so many ways around it. The only real thing that's effective against, hold that thought.
Lin lassoed, and he's going to be blown up. Let's see if LB can follow it up. ZYF just rushing right in. Wants to use his ulti, wants them slowed down. And it will be procced. The rest of LV slow to get into the fight, though. There's going to be two Searing Chains caught, Yao and Sylar. Doom on the ZYF. Beautiful Ice Path and the Macro Pyre, but their coordination just off. And as much damage as Inflame's doing, it's not enough. DDC likely to end up dead here, and will to that last auto attack. Inflame trying to go to town on Sylar. Can't do it by himself, though. Yao, however, will be able to get the stomp off. Demons is there, And they will secure the kill onto him. In the meantime, Sylar chasing down ZYF, does not have his ulti. He's down for the count. They do get the Skywrath Mage, and now Sylar can't time-lapse and does end up dead again. That fight looked like it was lost for sure, and he damn near got 5 again. If he had just blindly hit his searing chains going around the corner, would have been 5. But that looked like it was a lost fight for LV, and somehow they kited it out. They really engaged oddly coming uphill here. And yeah, they all kind of clumped up, and it was just an odd engagement. But Inflame, able to get the job done. 4 down, and he's going to take what he can here out of mid, bang away on the tower. Actually, yeah, he's just going to go ahead and back to be safe.
Yeah, it was a nice relocate from the Wisp onto the Wraith King to get him out, even though he was doomed. And then afterwards, I thought Wraith King was a little bit ballsy and crazy going back in like that, but it was definitely a favorable exchange by helping out with the kill on the Weaver. So I think that was still okay for him. And like I mentioned, it does look like he's probably going to go for an Assault Cuirass. It synergizes nicely with his attack speed. Does the whole negative armor trend thing that he's got going on here with the Deso. And here's a smoke gank from LGD. Batrider, he is smoked up with his Firefly and a Bloodlust to go. Here we go.
They turn north.
Oh, this could be a bait with an illusion.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they're trying to make something happen with it. Unable to get their attention, unfortunately. And they've got another illusion up here. Now they're just using it for vision. I don't think they knew they were actually there. So LV dodges a bullet. Down and bottom, Yao still farming away. Looks like he wants a Shiva's next. Just totally skipping Blink entirely.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake. I think Blink is just way too good, especially against the Ember. I mean, obviously it's not that great against Wraith King, which is probably why Wraith King was picked up in the first place. And yeah, Assault Cuirass picked up by the Wraith King. Super, super early for him.
Let's see how LV wants to play it on now. ZYF in great shape, leading the way in net worth. The Ember Spirit sitting at 12k, so those two at the top. Is a bit of a fall off from there to the Jug, but honestly, they're just overall more farmed. And yeah, wow, that's even more than I assumed. To the tune of about 7,500 gold, and they're into the 5-digit territory in experience. And this is not an example of a time when they get here and then they go, how do we transition late? You just keep farming. If you just keep farming the Jug, the Ember, and the Wraith King, you're going to win late. Like, there's just no way a Weaver can deal with that. Like, unless he gets, like, a Rapier and manages to play his butt off. Like, there's no way he can cope. But that much lockdown, that much spammable damage, that much crit, they just got to keep it up.
A couple things I'd maybe like to see from LV is a Vlad's pickup on the Wisp. I think it could be very, very good for them. They already have the Lifesteal Aura, Vampiric Aura from Wraith King, just to buff them up a little bit more. Would be very, very good. There's no Ancient Apparition on the other side, so you don't have to worry about not getting those heals off. You also have the Healing Ward, so it would just be so much healing in general. And the armor is fantastic as well. So I'd like to see that. I'd also like to see perhaps Juggernaut actually be a little bit more careful with his Healing Ward too. I've seen it kind of just thrown out in the middle of fights and just sitting there and just dies immediately. So yeah, hopefully he can micro that just a little bit better.
Yeah, looking at LGD's squad, I don't think I would mind a pipe terribly. Just don't know who they put it on. I mean, the Wraith King's obviously just going to go 6-slot carry. I guess you could maybe try to get it onto the Jakiro as another item, but a Hex are probably the safest though. Yeah, I think I would prefer that. Much rather see a Hex prioritized by everyone except the IO. Like, whoever can get the Hex fastest, get it. That way you have a very nice answer to the Weaver regardless. And Wraithfire Blast, like you said, they have ways to dispense of the Lincolns. I don't think that's so much of an issue. And we'll see. Too bad if one of these heroes chose to build it. Roche is going to be back up in about a minute. Make that about 2 minutes. And for now, teams just kind of dodging each other.
Yep, and ZYF is just hitting like a truck. And hitting fast at that. So critting for about 537. Not bad, but it's mostly just this negative armor that he's providing on these buildings. Like, look at this. This armor has now -5, now -12. So it just makes it a lot easier. And that's just him hitting it, too, with one siege.
Yep.
So
Forces a glyph out. And up at top, we can see Sylar doing the same thing. They're hitting about the same on the towers anyway. It's -7 for him. Not -12.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And they are going to end up trading tier 2s. Both teams recognizing the gravity of the situation. They do not have a lot of room for error, and they're not going to take too many chances. Again, the winner of this series will advance to Las Vegas for the grand finals. Excuse me. And I have to get a drink of something soon.
Sure. Blink Dagger actually up on the Juggernaut. I love this. I've talked about this at the beginning of the cast. It's phenomenal in just getting the right position. And you can get super aggressive like this, even without vision. We saw him do it last game. He did this, or he picked this up, where he just blinked past the tier 3 and just ulted. Like, didn't give two shits about it, really.
Nope, no reason to.
Yeah.
Blink, ult, and then spin. That's about as disruptive as you need to be. And that's a great way to initiate. It seems kind of reckless, and that's because it is. But it is an excellent way to initiate, and it'll allow your team to follow up and pick their targets because you're just causing nothing but pure chaos amidst the towers.
Yes, exactly. That's a good point. It makes it a lot easier for your team to follow up. Especially even if you don't get the kill, like when they're all at half HP and you have an Ember Spirit with a Daedalus right now, it's very, very easy to just kind of clean up.
Yeah, you know, we've gotten in the habit of not talking about Ember Spirits that are farmed too much.
I know.
It's been, like, seriously, it's been like 2 or 3 games. It's like we keep mentioning it. It's like, oh, yeah, number 2, it's your Ember Spirit. He's doing all right. Then we look, it's like, oh, he's critting for 1,000. That's how much he's hitting for. He's a beast.
I think it's because we just see him in every game in the Eastern scene, you know?
I think so, too.
It's like tired of talking about the damn hero.
It's a known quantity. At 30 to 40 minutes, he will be critting for a lot of damage, and he will have a Daedalus and a Battle Fury. We don't need, like, we'll let you know if it's anything but that. Like, if he goes some other build, then that's when we'll talk about it. Well,
I think I've seen ZYF on this actual team play it a lot, and he was the one that caught my eye with going the weird Yasha build all the time.
That Yasha.
BKB onto Wraith King, which is pretty good. Can't get stunned up by the Ogre Magi, can't get silenced or slowed by the Bat, nor the Skywrath Mage, so obviously he can still get doomed, but I don't think he cares. This is why you drop the Wraith King specifically against the Doom.
They're going to move out as 5, going right up the gut, and see if they can find a target. Siler is in the vicinity. They're going to find a whole team. This could be a huge fight. And yes, they're going to get Faith in behind. BKB not going to come out. Held on to it. Very patient. Behind that, though, we actually see the Jug securing the kill with the Omni Slash. He's going to go ahead and Blade Fury back. And LV looks to reset, grab the creeps, and go with the tier 2, and they might go even deeper. Let's take a look at what buyback status is. None for the Ogre. No surprise. He's been kind of broke, as has the Skywrath. And Siler has a Deso. We saw that a while ago. Can hit hard, but they can just hit him so they can crush him.
Yeah, I forgot about the Wisp buff too. So it's going to be attacking very, very fast. This could be the beginning of the end.
Yep. Doom looking for a target. There's going to be the Blade Fury. Caught him with the Searing Chains. And now ZYF going to town. BKB and Shiva's deployed. ZYF has his ulti. He is level 19, so it is a level 3 ulti. Lasso on the ZYF. They're just dragging him back, and there's a beautiful Ice Path. Yet another one. He has been on the money all game long. They Doom and Flame, but there's nothing to follow. They actually buy back on the Bat and the Weaver. And they're going to try to make something happen. Demons is low. ZYF will lose his ulti. Ice Path is there. Got 2. Can they follow it up? That Macro Pyre. Lincoln is going to be popped. They're going to work on a Faith now. Siler trying to kite this out, trying to do what damage he can from range, but it doesn't matter. Faith is down. Inflame back in. There's a stomp on Inflame, but a beautiful ulti from the Skywrath Mage. MMY hit this target, however. That's just an Aegis they consume. 2 are down now. The Doom and the Ogre. And 2 are down in mid, known as Rax. Big win for LV. And that is with buybacks. Siler bought back to lose his Rax. Unfortunate to say the least. Big creep wave up at top. They may want to reset, grab that. And no, hell, just let Lin tank it. He's fine. There's going to be the Yules onto the Bat Rider in July. Wrong part of town. Blown to pieces. Tier 3's down. Siler's going to come forward, try to do anything he can. If he dies again, it's a definite GG. And right now, we might be in that territory anyway. No way they push back out of this. GG call. And there it is, my friend. The biggest surprise team of the entire Eastern scene. A team that has earned our respect and admiration especially. A team that so few knew who were just weeks ago. fights their way through the D2L Season 5 Eastern Division. We'll see you at Caesars, LV.
I'm really excited for them, man. I don't want to take sides and be biased or anything like that because I'm not like that, but I'm very excited to see them win. I think they've really earned it, and I think that's the reason why I'm so excited. They've played fantastically. They have such a variety in their drafts. They're willing to try an off-lane juggernaut in Game 5, but deciding when to go to Vegas.
Oh, I know.
So this is a team that has balls, and this is a team that has style as well. So I'm really happy for them.
Fantastic series, fantastic game. Can't tell you how fun it has been to do this Eastern Division yet again. It's been a while since we did one, because the last big D2L event we did was Western Challenge. And yeah, that it didn't feature Eastern team. So it had been a year, almost to the day, since I had done a big Eastern tournament like this, outside of TI, of course. But, excuse me, still coughing up frogs. But man, has it been worth it. Hope you guys have had as much fun as Trouf and I had. Have to admire Inflame, 14-3-12, one of the better Ember Spirits you'll see. 5-2 on ZYF, didn't need any more than that. Finished with 620 GPM, highest on the board. On the other side, do want to thank LGD and admire them as well. Yal Faith in July, Siler, and MMY. MMY, phenomenal to watch in particular. Siler's a living legend. Yal Faith and In July have a bright future ahead of them. And this LGD squad's going to be capable of a lot. They just have to iron out their inconsistencies. And LV, though they do have their ups and downs, they won 2 to start this series and dropped 2 right back. They come through when it counts, with the draft, with the execution, and with the win. LV heading to Las Vegas for our grand finals at CES 2015 coming up that first week of January. Well, I don't know what time it is where y'all's from, but it's late here. It is about 2:30 in the morning. And Trouf and I have been going since 9 a.m. We did the 2 best of 3s and now this best of 5 that went the distance. So it's been a hell of a day, Trouf, and guess what? We don't get to sleep much. We literally go back on the air in less than 7 hours. You realize that?
I realize it. Thanks for the reminder, yeah.
Well, maybe you guys can sleep, take a nap like we're going to, and then tune back in. Yeah. You just watch 12? Well, I don't know, hell, 18? I can't math now. I'm too tired. 18 hours or so of Dota with a small little few hour break in the middle. How about you come back tomorrow? Or even if you don't want to, even if you got to sleep or work or do that nonsense, at least hit follow here on twitch.tv/D2L because we sure would love to have you back in the future. Be it tomorrow, be it the next day, be it all through 2015. We've got a lot of events planned. We got a lot of things coming up. It has been our pleasure to host you this evening, and we hope you'll let us host you another time very, very soon. The Western Division rolls on tomorrow. We'll be kicking that off at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It'll be 12 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, and of course, 1800 for our European brothers and sisters. Another doubleheader, so 2 best of 3s starting at those times, 9 a.m., 12 p.m., and 1800, depending on what time zone you have to call home. We're about to close the door and finish this chapter of the regular season and the playoffs as we look ahead to the grand finals now, Trouf. Any final thoughts on these teams and the rest of the Eastern Division?
Well, again, I'm really excited to see CDEC once again in Vegas. I'm most excited to see LV. And I'm really excited to see how they stack up against the Western teams. I know a lot of teams, in particular EG, has actually been looking at them. You know, Arteezy's been messaging me talking about just, you know, how impressed he is with them. And a number of other players have talked to me about how impressed they are, specifically LV. We've had tweets at us saying, you know, does anyone know who this ZYF guy is? Because this guy's insane. I'm like, dude, yeah, I know who he is. He's crazy good. Yep. So it's just been a lot of fun, and again, I'm just excited to see that LV has earned this, and look forward to seeing who goes to join them from the Western scene.
Don't think I could add anything more to it. Trouf, my friend, it's been a pleasure doing this season, and we still got more to go. You go to bed and get some sleep, and I'm going to do the same. Again, we'll see everyone back 9 a.m. tomorrow. No matter what corner of the globe you happen to call home, be it morning, evening, or afternoon, each and every one